Good morning, Squadron. Welcome to the On Time, On Target morning brief where we invest with fighter pilot precision every day. Well, Inauguration Day is finally here. Trump has left the White House reportedly, and inauguration's on schedule for noon Eastern today. So, what's important to the democracy is a peaceful transition of power. It appears that is going to take place despite, the kind of the dust up we had there on January 6th. But it all appears to be well with the democracy or the Democratic Republic. But we'll see. Now we'll get into actually the some of the stuff we haven't talked about. I think we'll finally get into the news cycle as far as taxes and things like that. However, for today, we're going to talk specifically about some earnings releases that happened, and Netflix is in the news for crushing earnings. So have a 14% currently jump in Netflix. We're going to take a look at Netflix stock, talk about where it's been, possibly where it's going, and whether or not it's a buy today. If you're catching us on replay, make sure you click subscribe as well as the notification bell. And if you want to join us live, $25 to invest in yourself. Come in the room live, ask away with your questions during about a 35-minute presentation every morning. With that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back, everyone. Excuse me, make sure you have your chat window open, your Q&A window open. I saw a couple of late entries here, so let me post. Here you go. There's in the chat are what we're going to look at long and short this morning. Standard disclaimer applies. This is an educational presentation. You have to do your own due diligence for acting upon anything you hear this morning. Full disclaimer information is available at ototnow.com. All right, our mission objectives for today are to grow our money, protect our money, and live off our money. Specifically, we are looking at growing our money through aggressive stocks like Netflix, which you think of the pandemic and, what's the no-brainer, right? Let's buy some Amazon. Netflix had already run up. I'll show you how high Netflix was going into the pandemic. So personally, I did not load up on that. Excuse me, I do have it. I do have investors in it, mostly investors that either wanted it from years ago or insisted upon it. But I'll show you from a valuation perspective that it is pretty high. But when you think of things that naturally fit the pandemic, Netflix is one of them. And people are out there actually claiming that they have exhausted Netflix, right? That they've watched everything on there. So that's kind of it's an interesting thing for productivity, is if you've seen everything on Netflix, boy, that could be possibly used towards other more productive things. That's my opinion. Don't get mad at me. All right, tactical objectives out there. We're going to look at Netflix we talked about. And secondly, our question of the day is how to avoid bear markets. Actually, we're going to talk about what a bear market is. So we'll peel that back, and then we'll talk about how you can avoid them. And actually, it's a very, very, very simple strategy to avoid it, and we will get to that. Our flow, long, short, open, short, long. We're going to take a look at the market review, the headline review. We're going to take a look at Netflix for our long-term investment, and I'll be throwing out some other options, similar content companies that are out there. While we take a look at that, we'll go into our short-term execution. You can see we've got the futures are up kind of big. Inauguration, that's probably going to be a big happy day for everybody. So expect the market to be, 0.5% higher today. I think that holds. Now it's a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. So I think now if the market hits all-time highs today, or if it gets close to it, I think we might see in the next few weeks some selling. That kind of makes sense. The euphoria of Trump's gone for, those that wanted that, and then Biden's here for those that wanted that. And then now we start getting into the the love affair is over with the new president, and we get into actually what life is going to look like, and execution, and all the new appointees are going to have to talk, and all those things tend to lead into some selling. So again, a tilt towards protection. We've made a ton of money, so now it's what do we need to do to kind of hold on to that money while we kind of wait and see what's going on. Primarily, the tax story is going to make its way to front and center. I did see an article this morning that the capital gains proposal only affects you if you make over $1 million in income a year. Okay, good problem to have, but if you do, the top capital gains tax rate's going to go from 23.8 to 43 point something. So we'll see. Anyhow, that's a proposal. We'll peel that back a little bit more as time goes on. All right, that's scary. Yeah, right. Yeah, if you've seen everything, I see Predator's comment there about scary seeing everything on Netflix. Yeah, I don't know. I subscribe to basically everything under the sun. That's probably inefficient from a money perspective. But my kids and family get to see every show that's out there if they want. But yeah, there's a lot of content, that is for sure, especially during a pandemic where we thought content would be challenged, if you will. All right, let's get back to the flow here. We'll execute the short-term execution. Let's see, did we talk about those? Okay, yeah, the futures are up. So BABA, Sorrento, and PACCAR, if I'm saying that correctly, are the three longs I have. It's tough to go short today. We do have a MARA, which it's a marathon patent group, and a GRTS, which I can't remember. They are down, but it's really tough to short into a euphoric market. So we're going to look at the three longs first. All right, contingencies. If you're having any issues, contact me at steve@ototnow.com. And again, if you don't understand what we're talking about, there are academic resources available on the website as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at TD Ameritrade Think Pipes. We'll look at the S&P 500 to keep everything in caged, if you will. So already March has scrolled off the screen. Remember, we're about 1 year out from when the pandemic started creeping its ugly head. Wasn't a pandemic yet, right? But we knew this was coming. Had some folks, that were really concerned about it and said it's going to be the worst thing ever. Turned out that they were correct, and it was the worst thing ever. And we immediately vaulted into a bear market. If you kind of flash back, we're losing, we stopped out in the market open, I believe, 3 times, which is 7% in the first 15 minutes that we were dropping. So kind of, you literally may never see those numbers again in our lives. That's how crazy that time was. Obviously, if you navigated that successfully, you ended up with a ton more money at the end of the year than you did during the year, but it was a little bit of a bumpy ride. If you survive that, you can survive anything that is going to happen in the next 4 years, in my opinion. I don't have a crystal ball, but I cannot see something more, worse, much worse than what we had with the pandemic and the market crashing and all of that. So, but you're looking at is the kind of steady recovery. Had some congestion going into the election, of course, but really, I had a tilt towards protection here. Didn't need it. Market, enjoyed the election, if you will, and kind of went higher, and we're up a few, less than 10% from the election, but continuing to power higher. So here we are, and if we have a big green day today, that could take us even all the way to new highs. When you kind of think about it, though, in the aggregate, when you're looking at, I'm talking with several of you in the room, as well as advisors everywhere and individuals everywhere are looking at topping. What are they doing in January? They're topping off their IRAs. They're back to their 401ks, especially if they super fund them early in the year. There is so much money rolling into the market at all times. I mean, that's why the market just charges higher. Yeah, you're going to get some negativity along the way. And we'll get into that once we get into the bear market piece there at the end. But literally, it's a who cares. I mean, there's so much money rolling in, and sending out checks to people, and it's kind of crazy, but a lot of money rolling in. That's why the market just continues to chug higher. When we look specifically at the last 5 days, not at Palantir, but let's get SPY in there. So here's kind of what we're looking at. So yesterday was Tuesday. Again, we're We're one day off. Do you see the dashed red line here? That marks the weekend. So up a little bit yesterday, and then the futures up nicely today. So again, a lot of euphoria going into where we were, and you can see the market was up near the highs of what was it? That was Thursday. So we'll see where it goes today. Here's our three longs. So we have SPY all the way left. We have BABA, Surrender, and Paycar, all of which have sold off a little bit. So we'll take a hard look at these before we actually put money long, but they all are gapping up. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the futures, going over to Google Chrome. And that's what you should see right now. A lot of green up here, and I also have to call your eyes to a lot of green right here at the MLS store. I bought one of these jerseys, so therefore that's why you see the ads popping up. So you can pretty much tell, targeted ads what I'm buying every day, because that's what shows up on CNBC. So anyhow, this is the Verde green. Austin now has a soccer club. Yes, those who've known me for a lifetime, I have not always had the most positive commentary towards soccer, but we have a pro team in Austin, and I'm going to support it, and I'm on the list for season tickets and all of that stuff. So something kind of cool. The stadium's only about 15 minutes from our house, so something cool to get behind, and a cool jersey. Of course, I'll wear that one day on the air. Probably the first day I'll wear that for the morning show. All right, back to what is important is the futures. Take a look at that. NASDAQ up over 1%. Everything else is up pretty nice. Europe in the green again. Trump is dead. The witch is dead kind of thing is going on around the world, in my opinion. Japan is down. Everything else is up. Here's our numbers from yesterday, all pretty positive. And volatility is reduced. Bonds creeping up. Still good time to refi. It's not too late. Get in there and do it if you haven't done it. If you haven't done it, wake up out of your coma. But if there's still time. Oil up 53, that looks good. Gold and silver up a little bit, and then let's check Bitcoin, down 3%, down to 35,000. Oh my goodness, that is a normal move. Don't even sweat that at all. All right, back to the headlines. All right, Trump departed the White House. Evidently, he did leave a note. So even though he didn't mention Biden by name, leaving a note for the new president is tradition. And CNBC was trying to get a hold of what it says. That hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it says something mature and wishes him the best. Instead of, I can only imagine what some of the other alternatives could be there. Okay. Yeah, we've already talked about the investing themes. It's too late to talk about stocks to buy under a Biden presidency. That was weeks ago when all these things started running up. But the standard themes are out there that we've been talking about. All right. Morgan Stanley beat expectations. Netflix beat expectations. Didn't mean to zoom there. P&G, Procter & Gamble beat expectations. And then, of course, with Alibaba, one of the reasons that we are going long this morning is, oh no, the conspiracy theory that Jack Ma was dead or whatever, it's somewhere around in here. He's been found. Yeah, he showed up at a conference, right? So anyhow, yeah, Jack Ma is back, and guess what? Alibaba's up 6%, so is K-Web and everything else. Okay. Let's see what else we can dig out of this. There's a euphoria term. I agree. I think we're in a little bit of a euphoric mode. Okay, so 13%, 14%, whatever. Subscriber growth, yes, it does have that. Possible buybacks. Now, I think we'll take a look at the chart here in a second. I think Netflix would be not showing that they truly kind of understand when to buy back their stock and when not. If you have extra cash, you don't know what to do with it, you don't buy back your stock at all-time highs. That's Steve, the CEO of a one-person company, telling you that. But you issue a dividend. That's what you do when you are printing cash, right? You don't buy back. You buy back your stock when your stock's in the toilet. Apple did that for a while. They're like, what? When Apple dropped below 100 and they started buying their stock back, they're like, well, it's dirt cheap. I don't really think Netflix can say that their stock is cheap here, and we'll look at that in a second. All right, the interesting theory about how this is Biden's problem, the vaccine thing is now Biden's problem. So you're going to see a bunch of executive orders today. I think you're going to see some pulling back from the states executing it back to more of a government-driven type of rollout for the vaccine. All right, there's Jack Ma, appears for the first time. Oh my goodness, he's alive. Shocker face. Okay. Trump did pardon a bunch of people. I literally thought he could pardon himself. Since he didn't, maybe I'm wrong there that he couldn't, but I thought for sure he would at least pardon himself for any of this stuff that's going on, but I don't know. I guess he can't, because otherwise he would have. Okay, let's take a look at the Netflix stock. Okay, so what's the thesis here? Everybody, stays at home and we watch Netflix. So Netflix has run up significantly. If you look back, back in here is where we had the pandemic. Stock, obviously, everybody's watching Netflix, so let's load up on the stock. We get all the way up to 566. And of note, kind of everything else is kind of ripped higher from there. And it's kind of gone sideways. Putting the trades in the chat there for the person who just checked in, if you want to see what we're going to be taking a look at here in a second. Anyhow, so kind of flatline. So can you buy it here? I would not get excited about buying Netflix here. When you look at the valuation numbers, 55 PE, I mean, it's no Tesla, that's 2000 PE. But stock, I don't know. I don't know how much more subscriber growth can you get. It's like 200 million. Well, there's 30 million in the United States. It's like, wow, right? And there's 7 logins per Netflix account or whatever people tend to do. So I don't know. I couldn't get behind it here. I have folks that are in it, and I say hold it, but I'm not a buyer at the $500 price point or whatever it opens at today. So that's kind of my take on Tesla. Is hold it if you got it. Otherwise, just take a pass on it. I think there are better names out there. All right, let's go over to Smart Edge. There's Netflix that we've looked at. Again, the chart run up to 500 and the big earnings released today. All right, so for our longs and shorts, let's talk BABA first. So there's Alibaba. The founder is back alive, which that was in question that he was not around or something. Anyhow, that's taken the stock higher, but is also sold off. It was all the way up at 271 earlier. It's now down at 265, but still meets all of the numbers as far as the stock. And it was over at 3, here's your line to the right, up 6%. So it's hard of the envelope. I do think it goes higher today, but it might not be able to scream higher. All right. Yeah, I don't know about Netflix and international subscriber. I would say maybe. $69 today. That's a pretty good move higher. All right, let's look at Sorrento. Sorrento's a little better story as far as going long. They're doing some COVID strain. They're releasing some mutation news today. 943 up to 10. So I think that'll be primary. Plenty of volume against Sorrento higher. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I don't see it on our list for the exact number of what percent is higher, but enough to get behind. And then the last one is Paycar, again, truck manufacturer. They released earnings this morning, had a pretty decent beat there. So they are gapping up as well, 89 up to 93. So 4.5% or so. To the downside, MARA, Patent Group, again, falling off the cliff this morning, 22 down to 21.58. That's not too bad either. So that's what we're going to take a look at. Let's go over to Think Pipes and get set up for our trades. I need a second here. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time on Target trade of the day. We have SPY on the left, and then we have 3 longs. We have Alibaba long, Sorrento Therapeutics long, and Paycar long. The one that I think has the most upside is the Sorrento Therapeutics. So we'll keep an eye on BABA here. They found the founder. That's kind of funny. Sorrento is releasing some stuff today about a mutant strain of COVID. And again, Paycar crushed earnings. I don't really like this, that it was back up at 98. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, Sorrento dropping here. That's going to give us a decent entry point. When you think a $10 stock, you think a 10-cent stop, if I said that too fast. But when you think $10, think 10-cent stop, right? So it's kind of a 1% stop, and then you're hoping for that 3% to the upside. All right, both of these are kind of selling off. Well, all 3 are selling off. So we're just going to be patient here for a second. All right, the low of the day is down here at 994 already. So ideally, you would want to be in around the 1004 range. I want to see this. Well, there you go. That's what I get for being patient. It jumped up there. All right. Can't enter it up here. It would need to come back down in this 10 range before I would be comfortable entering it to be able to cover the low of the day. All right. Let's zoom in on the overall market here. That was kind of a big stripe down in the first minute. Things appear to be recovering from that. All right, 6%, 7%, 3%. Paycar, don't like that nearly enough. Let's get rid of Paycar. Again, you see Baba screaming higher there. Let's look at some other names. Let's check out our shorts real quick. MARA. Some short covering here. So high of the day up at 21.4. So 21.20 would be the entry point for us to go short. And it's not going to give us to it. I bet it's just going to drop from here. I don't want to take it 21.10. It's too far gone. That'd be a 30-cent stop. But it kind of looks like it's about ready to stripe down. We'll leave that up for a second. We'll get rid of Sorrento and look at the other short, GRTS. That's backing up significantly. I'm starting to really like this as far as it falling off the cliff here, but I can't take it here. And there it goes. There's 10 cents. 10-cent move after I say there's 20-cent move. Yeah, here goes 30-cent move. Yeah, it's sucks. I miss this. But when you see something run up, I mean, this is, here's the short and you see it go higher and then there's your nice doji and really your entry point is 21.20. I considered taking it in here, but anyhow, when you saw it just sitting there going, bouncing up and down at this 21.10 level and then boom, 30-cent move. That's really 1.5 R move in that stripe down. You can kind of tell sometimes. I sent a couple of you a video clip of my mentor from Friday when we shorted Wells Fargo. Obviously she's live in the trading room already, at the same time. So there's no way I can know what she's doing. But anyhow, I looked back on our, my entry and exit and her entry and exit on Wells Fargo. And some of the things she's talking about, I go back and watch her videos, especially if we're shorting the same thing, to kind of hear what she's saying. And it's really, it was pretty cool to watch kind of a side by side there. Okay, so MARA, yeah, I think this goes lower. Once it breaks 28, I think it will stripe down another, probably all the way down to the 3R point, which is going to be down at, if it had been in here, 2160, it'd be 2050 would be the exit point, which it's probably going to go to just right now. One of those things. So, all right, we missed it. So no trade for today on MARA short. Now, what I do hope happens is I hope we continue higher. SRNE popping. Let's put that back in there. SRNE. Oh, yeah, it did. So open up. Yeah, if you got into this at all, anywhere in here, it's you're already at the 3R move. So feel free to brag about that in the chat if you caught this. I was impatient with it and bailed on it. Started getting over here to the shorts. So what I want to see is we are into earnings season and we are hitting all-time highs today, likely. So I would like to see the market kind of as it comes in the next couple of days, give us some of those shorts to be able to hop in and get aggressive on the short side, which we really haven't been able to do. It's kind of been a long only type of game. So I want to check one other name that was gapping up big too. You know what it is, Luck and Coffee. Not bad. I saw this 9.95 print pre-market. So up at, let's see, 55 cents, 9.8 here. So not bad. Take a nice 6% move higher here. It's still below 10. I think it gets back above 10 in short order. Okay. watching over here at the marathon. There it is. So I scrolled over. So yeah, this was perfect. Wanted to get it here at the 2120, paused for a second at 2110 and cost myself money because that just printed all the way down to the exit point. So, all right, I'll be faster and better tomorrow to get us in on these. All right, let's take a look around the market and see what's going on in the big world. So there's Netflix up 14%, Clickstream up today. Alibaba 6%, Luckin 6%. I like those names. AV's been on fire again. That's a drone maker. KWeb is so overweight in Alibaba that it's been affected directly. So a lot of people have been challenging my, are we really going to get behind China? Because Jolton Joe Biden with the sunglasses is going to take it to China like Trump never could. First of all, that's not going to happen. China is probably celebrating more than we are that Trump's gone. But no, I think all the Chinese tech names start running, screaming higher, to be honest. So KWeb's the way to play that if you want to get into individual names. Baba's fine, Tencent Holdings fine, IQ is fine, Baidu's fine, Pinduoduo is fine, Luckin's fine if I didn't mention Luckin. KWeb, just go with KWeb and get paid if you want the ETF. DraftKings back after selling off yesterday. Kohl's, when does Kohl's release their numbers? I see they're up today. I'm on another screen. Kohl's gapping up a little bit on 3.5% here. I don't see their earnings on the chart. Why don't I? Earnings, okay, announcement will be February, mid-February before they announce. So again, I think they will crush earnings based off of the Christmas season once they announce. Disney up again. That's pulled up. I didn't talk about the other streamers out there, but we talked Netflix. I think it's expensive. Disney though, yeah, it's popped back up from pandemic levels. But when you really look at it, Disney's got so many ways to win. We'll go out a year here so you can see the pandemic drop down to $80. Closing parks. It's like that was kind of a no-brainer too to buy some Disney. Can you buy it here? Yes, a lot more so than you can buy Netflix just because of the strength of the brand, right? And they're charging $140 to get in the door every time you go. I mean, you have no option other than to pay the mouse. I guess you could say the thing about Netflix. If you stop paying your Netflix bill, you might have a revolt on your hand from the kids. I don't know, or the spouse. Don't know. But so many, have all the merchandise, have the movies. A lot of ways to win with Disney. You kind of can't go wrong with it. Amazon's another one. Predator talked in the chat there about Amazon Prime. Pretty good deal. Can't lie to you. On that, Boeing taking a hit lately, but popping back up. GoDaddy's been on fire. GDDY. It might actually hit 100. It's getting close. Back down into the 80s from being up here in the 90s. But again, if you think web domain names are like real estate, then yeah, that's going to 100 as well. All right, let's see what's down today. Bitcoin's down today. I think that's largely a money flow back into the market. Zoom is down. Somebody made a hilarious comment about Zoom being the like a pets.com for back, basically calling like a 90% crash in Zoom. I don't know. Everybody likes it. We're on Zoom right now, so don't kick me out because I'm talking crap about you. But yeah, there's better things out there. So Zoom kind of capitalized on the situation. Okay, don't say anything else really notable moving down there. MJ even. So that's the marijuana theme. Again, that was gapping up earlier. And I think that will do well in the next 4 years. Okay. Check back to, yep, it hit the exit point and back up. So Sorrento, there was your trade. That's why you get out after the big move. And Luckin holding up here higher. All right. Let's go back to talk about bear markets and how to avoid them. So a little bit of an education piece here. Need to get to the right screen. There it is. Okay, what is a bear market? A bear market, first of all, there's no absolute definition. It's more of a commonly accepted definition So bear market's when the market sells off 20%, period, dot. That's from a high to low, so it's a peak to trough, so it resets higher. So in March, yes, we had a bear market. It not only did a bear, it didn't just go ease into a bear market. It was like punch you in the face. Mike Tyson at his prime, kind of taking you down, sort of 20% drop, right? We're losing 7% in the first 15 minutes in the morning. We did that, a couple days. There were some bounces in there, but boom, fell off a cliff basically. Here's some of the numbers associated with that. So there's 20% is an arbitrary number, but that's what's commonly used, so people accept that. Now, when 10% is a correction, 20% is a bear market. So when you have a bear market, that officially kills off the bull market that's prior. So you have a huge bull run, then when it drops 20%, that starts the bear market. Then when it goes back to new highs, that's when you exit the bear market, which we exited, I don't know what, a few months later. So anyhow, it's one of the shortest bear markets in history. So blah, 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 economics sometimes, otherwise it was pandemic induced. So you don't know. The one we had closer, the one we had that was really close prior to that was December of 2018, when the Fed started raising interest rates. I think I misspoke there. December of 2018 is what I meant to say, where we went down 19% in that December, in that 1 month, if you remember that. Got a little exciting there for a while, but not really. It was a buying opportunity, just like last March was. And if you took advantage of it, then you're very happy. Now, what I want to read to you, this is sarcasm. But I came across this morning on an article called "How to Get Guaranteed to Avoid a Bear Market." So I'm reading this off my phone as while I'm looking down below. This is a Barry Ritholtz. If he's an investor, if you've heard him, he's famous, runs his own money, that sort of thing, runs monies for others. He said this on January 2nd of last year. He said, there's a very simple way to avoid bear markets. And this is sarcasm, so hold with me here. There's a very simple way to avoid bear markets. What you do is pull all of your money out of the stock market and just let it accumulate in your bank account. Others will make huge fortunes as sustained bull markets carry on hundreds of percentage points for years on end. Those people who will participate, though, will be forced to endure regular 10, 20, and even 30% drawdowns along the way. They will feel uncomfortable during these drawdowns, and they may even look stupid for a while. So again, it's basically the, stick at it. Yeah, you're going to ride the roller coaster, but literally, I think we just got done. If you're an investor, you're going to hit bear markets. Individual names will hit bear markets. They talk about Apple hitting a bear market on occasion. Yeah, if it drops 20%, if it's a name you believe in, you buy more. That's kind of that. That's how that works. If your thesis changes, then you have to bail on it. Alibaba obviously got hit hard by Trump. And then, of course, the missing founder, which he really wasn't missing, but if you're, he didn't come out and dispel that rumor. So anyhow, yeah, the stock sold off hard. If you believe in the thesis, you believe in the company, you just buy more during those times. So there you go. There's your bear market primer on the day. Thanks so much for joining in. Enjoy the inauguration. Do watch it. It's historic. If you get a chance, flip it on. It's 12 Eastern is the time as we go through a peaceful transition in power. We only have these every 4 or sometimes 8 years. So, all right, with that, I'm going to let you go, and we'll catch you guys back tomorrow morning.